Hello again, Monsketeers, and welcome to another Ragnarok Vloggentary ride-along. Today, we're going to ride It's a Small World together. From Disneyland in Anaheim, California, the It's a Small World that I grew up riding. And growing up, seeing this behemoth at the back of the park is so iconically Disneyland to me. I mean, just as much, maybe if not more, than Sleeping Beauty's castle. This ginormous backdrop and clock is what my Disney dreams aren't entirely made of, but it plays an integral role. It really does. Every 15 minutes this happens. They celebrate every quarter hour. So if you are nearby, or even if you're not nearby and you're like, you know what? I want to make sure I catch the presentation. I think this thing's called Glockenspiel, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if you're close to like whatever, hour 15, 30, 45, or at the hour, this happens. So there you have it. Any 15-minute marker within the hour, you can catch this. And I recommend doing it because it's a little touch of magic that it's beyond the ride. It's a whole unique experience unto itself. And I don't believe any other small worlds do this. I know that the small world at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World does not do this. So it's uniquely Disneyland when it comes to the parks in the United States. And there you are. It was 11:30 when we were about to take our ride in It's a Small World. Bong. There you go. I wonder how many times it does it. Does it do it 30 times? No. Somebody counting that? It might do it 30 times. Oh my gosh. Oh, still going. As the doors are slowly closing, maybe? Oh, it didn't do it. I wonder how many times the dongs go. There's Baney. You know what? You know how you can find out? By listening to our Ragnarok retrospective podcast about everything you didn't know you wanted to know about It's a Small World. And It's a Small World across all the Disney parks where It's a Small World is available. This outside line queue is one of Disneyland's finest. There's not a lot of line queue extravaganza going on in Disneyland like there is in Disney World, because Southern California is so pleasant and sunshiny that you can stand outside pretty much any time of the day, every day. So that's a little touch of fun that Disneyland specifically offers. And a topiary. Who doesn't love a topiary? Shaped as a moose. It's one of the many topiaries around this little lagoon. I believe they call it a lagoon. What's that one? A bear? Yeah. No? Bison? What is that? What do you think that is? A bear. That one's a bear, and then there's a bison behind it? Yeah, there you go. These topiaries look very much more natural in comparison to like some of the ones you would find maybe at Epcot during the Flower and Garden festivals. Some of the topiaries, they just get really too too cartoony with. You lose the Bush vibe, but that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about It's a Small World. The OG It's a Small World, by the way. Oh, here we go. I prefer this It's a Small World compared to the only other one I've been on. Was the Magic Kingdom version, which the Magic Kingdom It's a Small World does have heart of its own and a charm of its own, but I don't know, maybe it's just because this is the one I grew up on. That guy, that face, super just an uneasy look on that sea serpent's face. All right, here we go. Welcome. So many people have less than optimal things to say about It's a Small World so frequently, I feel like, and I couldn't disagree more. I love this ride. In both incarnations that I've been on, I love this ride. You know? My kids, on the other hand, they'll tolerate it. They'll go on it without complaint. But it's definitely not one that they're drawn to specifically. Now, this trip was everyone else in my family's first time to Disneyland. So that was a lot of fun within itself. So there were no arguments or nobody was deterred from going on this ride when we did. It was really fun for them to make the comparisons to the Disney World version of It's a Small World, because that's the one they've become more familiar with over time. Something really fun about the Disneyland It's a Small World is they have Disney characters in the ride, designed in the same Mary Blair style as the other animatronics or dolls. I saw for a second Peter Pan, but I can't really say that in the moment I caught it. But there's Alice in Wonderland. See? I tried to get footage of each of the Disney characters in the ride, but I'm positive, more than positive, that I missed some. Like I said, I saw Peter Pan. There's Cinderella, Jack and Gus. I saw Peter Pan a split second ago. It was more, I think, John flying. Wait, which one's John? John's the older one, or is that Michael? I don't know. The older brother I saw flying for a sec. So I didn't catch that this trip, but you know what? Next time I go on this, I will. I feel as though, and I could be wrong, that you know what? I shouldn't say anything. Because maybe in the ride-along there's Pinocchio. Maybe for the ride-along on the Magic Kingdom version, I may have said the same thing, so I'm not going to say it. But I was going to compliment the set. You know what I mean? What we're seeing here. I do really like the Magic Kingdom version one as well, so I can't really... I just love It's a Small World. And looking at me, you wouldn't guess, would you? I want to get It's a Small World tattoo. I really do. And you may wonder, what about it do I love so much? Can't tell you. It just screams Disney magic to me. So that must be what it is. There's Aladdin and Jasmine right there, magic carpet. Because it's not a thrill ride. There's a Boo or a Pooh. A Boo. Sorry, a Pooh is from The Simpsons, which also is a Disney character now. So they could put a Pooh in here. Why not? I completely forgot where I was going. Anyway, I do love the fact that this ride has the Disney characters throughout. That's something that I kind of wish they would add in the Magic Kingdom version, but you gotta keep certain things different enough to make people want to see them all. And I do. That's a goal in my life. A goal in my life, in our family's life, really, is to visit every Disney park there is. And in turn, riding every It's a Small World there is. So 2 down, I think like 3 to go, maybe? I don't know. You can find out in our retrospective podcast, available at leallegacy.com. Jungle. I know there's a Simba. I'm not sure if there's a Mowgli. Although, a Mowgli would make a lot of sense. There's Simba and Pumbaa. Is Timon on the back? I don't know. But there's definitely Simba and Pumbaa. Why isn't there a Mowgli? I'm not saying there definitely isn't a Mowgli. I just don't recall seeing one. So, I don't know. Even a Baloo. If it was up to me, and it's probably good that it isn't, I would have gone Jungle Book over Lion King. You know? Sure, there are animals, you know, on the ride. Clearly, we're looking at some penguins right now. But, I don't know. I'd like to see a little Mary Blair doll-styled Mowgli. Jungle Book doesn't get enough love at the parks, honestly. I stand by that. I hope this song gets stuck in your head. Because it gets stuck in mine. And I don't mean that as like in a cursing way. I think having this song stuck in your head would make for a more pleasant day. It does for me. It just adds a little touch of magic in your soul. There's a 3 Caballeros. I believe Donald, Jose, and Panchito are the only Donald's the only one of the Fab Five on It's a Small World. I guess the other two don't really fit that classification. They're just kind of Disney characters, the same as Ariel over there. So there is Ariel in the underwater scene here. I want to say there's a Nemo. I feel like there might be a Nemo. I also might be making that up. It's hard to remember. Wow, do you hear that? There's Flounder. Ariel gets a solo. Guess not. Maybe what can happen is that they add characters into the magic. There he is. There we go. I had a feeling. Something about Nemo was really sticking out of my head, and there you go. There we have it. Lilo and Stitch. That's a pretty fun one. No Moana and Maui. So back to my point, back to my thought that I had. Why not add characters to the Magic Kingdom version of It's a Small World as well, but utilize characters that you don't use in this one? You know, then we can get a Mowgli. Then we can get a who do I want to see? I'm sorry, the hula dolls always catch my attention and make me lose my train of thought. That's not true at all. I just need an excuse to, as to why I sound so silly. Here's America. Everything's farms in the U.S., in case you're wondering. I'm glad they went with farms and not like a cityscape or something like that, So yeah, anyhow, use characters. Jesse and Woody are over here. Is there a bullseye too? Yeah, there's a bullseye. So there wasn't just farms. There's some Western vibes here too for the U.S. Okay. Maui and Moana would be cool to see at the other It's a Small World. Like I said, Mowgli again. I'm really on a Mowgli kick right now. I don't know why. I love the Jungle Book. I guess that's what it comes down to. The sun over there in the back that we're coming up on, there was something important to that we went over in our retrospective podcast, and I don't remember what it was. I think they took it down for a while and then they added it back. I believe that was the case. And I think the sun signifies the ending of the ride. I believe. Creepy though. The eyes are what get me. I get it, Why wouldn't the sun have giant glowing eyes like that? But something about it just seems a little, I don't know, terrifying in a way. Maybe they should take it back down. I don't know. Am I the only one who feels that way? I might be. I'm the only one that feels a lot of different ways. It's okay, though. It's a small, small world. Farewell. It's not the longest of rides, but it is one of the longer rides. I'm willing to bet that it's I'm going to argue that's the longest ride at Disneyland, with the exception probably of Rise of the Resistance, because that ride from start to finish, like the experience of it all, that's a pretty long ride. So maybe this might be the second longest ride at Disney, and that's just me speculating. I have zero fact checking going into that. These are fun. Adios. Disneyland USA. It's a nice little, recap of the countries we visited. Little postcards. I think that's fun. Here we are, more topiaries. I love the entrance and the exit for the ride. Through the little I'm calling it a lagoon. Or is it a river? It might be a river. Oh no. I may have said the wrong thing, but that's okay. That's, if I had a nickel for everything I said incorrectly, I'd have a lot of nickels, which would be really annoying. What's this one? Is that a lion? What do you think that is? Giraffe, clearly. Elephant? I don't know. There's something about the Small World topiaries specifically that I find to be just as charming as the interior of the ride. I mean, everything about It's a Small World is just incredible. From its size, from the ride length. Look at my baby boy. Hey, Mav. There's Bane in the background just waiting to get off the ride. Bane is a little thrill seeker of a rider. Ryland's, he's a pretty good champ about rides. Usually if Bane doesn't like a ride, he's like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? I'm like, dude, just look around. Enjoy the time. There's a rhino and some sort of bird on its back. That seems really big, like a really big bird to be on that rhino's back. Or is that me? Well, hey. Oh, and something else from my youth. The Small World water, look at it right there, it just always seems so refreshing. Especially on like a really hot day at Disneyland. There's nothing that sounds more appealing on a really hot day at Disneyland than jumping into the Small World water. It just looks so blue and crisp. Hey, there's my podcast that I was talking about. Go scope that out, leallegacy.com or wherever you get your podcast, and look up our Ragnarok retrospective for It's a Small World and learn everything you didn't know you wanted to know about It's a Small World. And there we have it. Until next time, thanks for being a friend. Telling a friend. See ya.